Hello. So I have had a lot of questions about the living situation on the reserves against or versus the active duty. So I'm going to break down how it goes. So when you sign your contract, either reserves or active duty, everybody goes to basic military training or boot camp. So you go to your boot camp, you go to your basic, then after that you go to your job school. So if you are like me, an aerial porter, you're gonna go to the aerial porter school. And each school for every profession, each profession has their own time. So aerial porter is 6 weeks, linguists is like 12 months. So it depends on the profession you get. You're gonna have the training for as long as it is supposed to be. Once you go back, that's where the differences happen between active duty and reserves. So if you are active duty, once you finish your schooling, you're going to go and move to your permanent station, permanent home station. So if you're from New York, for instance, and you are on active duty, you can be sent to anywhere in the world that they need you. If you are single, they will send you to wherever they need to send you, and you're gonna go to a dorm with other single members. They have their own dorm rooms and you're gonna live in a dorm. If you are a married member, your family is allowed to move with you into a married home. So they will give you a home for you and your family at the base where you live for those 4 years that you are in the military. Now, if you're a reservist, you're just gonna go back to your own state. You're gonna go back to your own home. When you're coming back, you're gonna go to your new unit in that base that you were assigned by your home, and they can put you on orders for on-the-job training for a couple of months so you can get more acquainted with your job. But once those orders are over, you're basically back to your civilian life, where your only duty as a reservist is to go to your base once a month for the weekend and once a year for 2 weeks. So it's called the annual tour. So once a year, they're gonna send you for 2 weeks somewhere, and then you're gonna do that job for 2 weeks, and then you just go back home, and then you keep doing your weekend out of the month. Obviously, when you're in the reserves, there are gonna be some, humanitarian missions, or depending on the job, they're gonna have sporadic orders happening, and depending on how busy you are in your life, you can volunteer to them. So like for me, I am an aerial porter, as I said before. So sometimes when there's a hurricane or some sort of disaster, sometimes we go and we work with the Red Cross. So I can volunteer to do that and go with them. We receive emails and we can volunteer. But if I don't want to go, I can just resume my civilian life and just go to the base once a month and the 2 weeks out of the year. But if you are interested in having a career, it's good for you to do as much as you can while you are in the reserves as well, because you get points and all that good stuff. So that's the difference. When you go to active duty, you will be permanently stationed anywhere in the world. When you're single, you stay in dorms. When you're married, you get married housing. When you're a reservist, you're basically gonna go back home, and you're gonna just be going to your base once a month on the weekend, and you're gonna have your annual tour 2 weeks every year in a place that they're gonna send you. So when you're a reservist, you're not gonna get base housing because you already have your home. You're basically a part-time, so you're not gonna get to live in the base as a reservist. You're gonna have to have your own home. When you go into active orders, then yes. So those 2 weeks out of the year that you are out, they will give you, housing for you to stay wherever you're gonna go do your 2 weeks. So keep that in mind when you guys are thinking about going to reserves versus active duty. About housing, if you're thinking that you're joining reserves to live in a base, that's not how it works really. Reserves is a part-time thing that you're basically gonna go back home to your own job. For me, it works because I have my own apartment, so it's good for me, and I go to school, so I want to finish my schooling before I decide to do anything further with the military. So just keep that in mind, and if you guys have any more questions about reserves against active duty, let me know. Bye.